Welcome to my presentation of how Alexander the Great led to fascism in Italy. Alexander the Great was a pretty well-known conqueror. He was the young king of the Greek territory Macedonia. Long before time had a name, he had created one of the largest empires in history at around the age 30, even going as far as to eliminate the Persian Empire. 300 years later, a boy named General Julius was leading an army in the Gallic Wars, a battle with present-day France, Belgium, Germany, and Switzerland. Julius had crushed them. Julius was largely inspired by Alexander the Great and based many of his battle strategies off of him. However, General Julius knew that he couldn't stay a general if he wanted to be just like his idol. Julius Caesar knew the Roman Senate would not allow him to win an election. Julius formed an alliance with Crassus and Pompey, forming the first triumvirate. After the death of Crassus, Julius Caesar marched his armies into Italy and defeated Pompey. The Senate fought against Caesar's actions, especially when Julius claimed dictatorship over Rome. This led to the end of the Roman Republic, turning into a Roman civil war. I'll spare you the details. Julius won. After the death of Julius, yes, the Senate did come back to get him. His son Augustus, or Octavian, will become the Emperor of Rome. Rome is now an empire and will remain so for 400 years, twice as long as America has existed. To put that into perspective, 400 years ago, the Silk Road was still in full effect, and exactly 400 years ago, in 1624, the Mayflower would just be starting its journey to America. Everybody knows the legend of the Roman Empire, including young boy Benny in around 1883. Born in Dovia di Prodapio, Italy, he was an interesting child. At age 10, while attending boarding school, he violently stabbed a kid and was expelled. He did it again at 14. He was a smart kid, however, and passed all of his exams and obtained a teaching license. He worked as a schoolmaster, kind of like a principal. At age 19, Benito left and lived in Switzerland, where he worked as a political journalist. He was an activist and fought for countless workers' rights. After becoming obsessed with socialism, he moved back to Italy, joining the Italian Socialist Party, even creating his own newspaper called The Class Struggle. When World War I broke out, Benito Mussolini disagreed with the war and did not want Italy to be involved. He did change his mind, which had him kicked out of the Italian Socialist Party. So he joined the army, rising to sergeant before being wounded and sent home. Italy was on the winning side when World War I ended, but like many other nations, they were left with political and economic problems. Benito looked back at Rome, at the empire his nation used to be. The empire that conquered Sparta. Benito Mussolini knew he could bring Italy back to that power. He put together a group of ex-socialists and dissatisfied soldiers. Mussolini made them wear black shirts and armed them to keep order. This formed the fascist party. Mussolini no longer cared about his people, only his power. He became Il Duce, leader of Italy. And he was able to do this by telling the Italian people that if he was in charge, they would be the Roman Empire again and have that kind of power as a nation. He aligned with Adolf Hitler in World War II, joining the Axis, leading to one of the most gruesome wars in history. Alexander the Great's conquest led to the creation of a monster that used chemical weapons, forced starvation, and invasions of African nations, in removing the people from their rightful homes, as well as deporting Italian citizens to concentration camps. He was also the reason my grandmother's family moved to America. Her father fought in the war on America's side against his own people to push the Italians out of Africa. And to avoid being discharged from the army and sent to one of several American camps, where they kept innocent Japanese and Italian American citizens, my great-grandfather served in World War II, registered as a Mexican American. And now today I'm sitting here making a presentation for my American World History class because of a conqueror 3,000 years ago. Thank you very much for your time. This is now the end of my presentation.